Good morning, everyone. Yes, Shay's Creations again. And I don't know what time it is, but y'all already, I don't know why that's a bad habit, but I'm going to change it. I'm going to change it. Oh, 9:08 a.m. It feels as if I've been up forever because basically I was a little bit, awake. But I already took my shower, I already spread my bed, I already mopped two bathrooms, and I already mopped my bedroom and the kitchen. I have to vacuum the floor. But boys and girls, I woke up this morning and in my dream or a vision, I was monetized on YouTube. But that had to have been a dream. That had to be a dream. But I had the best sleep ever because I had a few dreams. And one dream I had was about someone that I personally know that I would never see myself interchanging with, like on a date, like having a day out with this person. But the dream, I can't remember the dream, which at some point I may. I cannot remember the dream in detail, but I had so much fun. And when I say I had so much fun, we were going places and, that type of thing. But during the process of my sleep, I could feel in my body that I was having fun. I hate when I wake up and I cannot remember those type of dreams. But uh boys and girls, I was sitting here. I got up. Of course I did my prayers, make sure I take care of that. But the first thing that hit me was that I did not want to take a shower. And that is one of the things that bothers me with depression. Yes, I'm suffering with depression. I will suffer with depression forever. That's one of the things that bothers me about depression. So I said, no, no, no. Water is a blessing, and I want all my blessings. So I got my tail up, went in a room, sat on the computer for maybe an hour, just doing nothing of importance. And then I said, I done dilly dallied enough. It's time to take my shower. So when I was inside of my shower, when I went to run the water, it was no hot water. So I'm like, I can't bathe in cold water like this. Now, when I say hot water, I mean hot water. I'm not saying someone else couldn't have come in here and take a shower at that point, because of course they could have. I know a lot of people who can't shower in the water that I can shower in. You would burn. But I kid you not. I was like, I can't take no shower in this. So I said, okay, let me shave my head. So one of the beautiful things that I get to do some days during the month is shave this freaking head of mine. Yes, boys and girls, I have sweat running down my scalp because, of course, I'm having a hot flash right now. But this right here is what I love the most about myself, other than the fact that I believe I'm just beautiful because I'm natural. But that's another story. I don't want to make any offense, and I don't want to lose any subscribers. But I really, really, really love myself. And I was sitting in the shower and I was like, just running the water and shaving my head. And I'm like, okay, I really want to get in the shower, want to wash my scalp and everything. But today was the first day I actually let the water run. I don't like to waste the people's water in the building. Although it's, included in my rent, I still don't want to be abusive of water. But then a few minutes later, I finished shaving and everything, and then I felt the water, and it was hot. I was, oh, I could bathe in this. So let the shower come down off the top, and I jumped in. And then I'm, putting the baking soda on my rag and scrubbing my head and washing all my body. And then, but I will tell you what I did not do. I did not shave my underarms. I think a little bit. I think I'm good for another 2 or 3 days. But the clipper kind of hurts a little bit. So because I have fibromyalgia, so I try not to shave too often. My underarms. But you won't see me wolfing on this channel. And if you do, you better let me know, because that means I forgot. Be friendly and let me know. But anyway. So I'm in the shower, and next thing you know, I find myself, talking to God and thanking Him for all I have and everything. And at some point, a split second came over me, and I realized something that I'm dealing with that's not too fun and not too happy and not too positive. I said, baby, we're gonna nip that off. But so then I started, dancing in the shower, started singing it. I was like, all right, now I might bust this ass in the shower, and I already busted my head in the shower before. So no, we're not doing that. But I had to remind myself to stay in the now. And that is what is helping me so much. I kid you not. It is a really hard process, but it is something that is helping me tremendously. Helping, like this morning, I wanted to go outside now. I already took my shower, already put my sundress on and everything. And yes, I did gain weight because it looked like it's a part of the skin. But I had to lift the camera a little bit. Because y'all know the girl is big in the back. But I had to lift the camera a little bit. But I wanted to go outside today, but today may not be the day for me to go outside. I do have a destination. I want to just go to Home Depot, but today is not the day. The voice in me is saying, today's not today. When I find myself not able to go outside, I count my blessings because something out there is not for me. So I don't want to fight that feeling and go outside and turn around. I end up in a situation where, boom, a stray bullet or something that I could have avoided. And then I sit down and say, well, I should have stayed home. So it's not going to be about that party today. What I am going to do is figure out if I could find a way to get back my appetite so I could actually cook me something, my ground beef. Now, you see my stomach, see my face? That's because I'm thinking of eating and I don't have an appetite to eat. And every time I think of cooking something for me to eat, my stomach starts getting a little uneasy and my mind get a little dark and then my face starts speaking before my mouth gets to speak, even though my mouth is moving. But so maybe I'll just continue to sip tea because I've been drinking tea all morning. But I will say overall I'm having a beautiful day. I sat down this morning and I looked at my my vitamins and everything that I have here, my L-theanine, my sea moss, my collagen, my magnesium. I took my B12 and I'm running out. But you know what I'm gonna do? Just stay grateful that I have it. Oh my goodness! Lord have mercy! I found some B12. I didn't even. I got enough. I got enough for right now to hold me down. But what I am gonna do, and I'm kind of, boys and girls, I don't know what kind of life I'm living right now. I have no money, so basically, what I'm scraping by to make ends meet, to try to do this, rob Peter to pay Paul. I'm doing it all. But I said this morning, because when I woke up, not when I woke up, but in transition of me waking up, I realized that this bottle is almost empty. This is my Theathene, however you pronounce it. So I said, okay, I'm going on the computer and I'm going to use a firm. I'm going to make my budget $100. I'm going to get my vitamin C, my collagen, my omega-3, and my vitamin D, as well as those vitamins there. I'm going to just get the whole stock of it to make sure I have it. And the reason why is because those are the things that help me transition my life, got me off of pain medicine and all that other stuff. So now the only thing I have to do today, is find my I don't have to find it. I just realized where it is. It's in my computer. It's in my computer room by my desk. My pain lotion that I was just blessed with for my feet, I can feel my feet is going to give me an issue today. So I'm going to be bed bound today, and that's okay. Got my little friend, in my book when I'm ready to read. But boys and girls, I'm sitting here 56 years old, and I wake up and I realize, okay, I'm closer to 60. So when am I going to get my life together? When am I going to make it happen? When am I going to start earning money? When am I going to start, doing what I've been trying to do forever and just earn? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But guess what? I realized that I don't want to craft anymore. A part of me doesn't want to craft anymore, but I'm afraid to get rid of my stuff. I kid you not. I said today I'm going to bite the bullet and ask someone to come to my house, go in my craft room, just spend 20 minutes in there, get some garbage bags, just pack it up, put it outside the house, and I'm going to stay right in here. whatever they take out of here, they just take. I really and truly am sick and tired of even hearing it in my head, let alone hearing it out of my freaking mouth. I'm afraid to give up what I'm holding on to that's bringing me no love, no value, no nothing. So I'm holding on to what I consider junk. But it's not junk. It's absolutely not junk because if times were different, those items could support my livelihood, but clearly it's not. And then yesterday, and this is a little TMI, so I'm gonna say this is TMI, and now I'm gonna give you time to leave the room. Okay, I heard the door close. Bye. Ow! But anyway, yesterday, someone made a post on Facebook. I was surprised to see the post too. Someone made a post on Facebook asking if a woman had to sell her body to support her home, would people look down on her? And I'm Bobo the fool. I'm Bobo the fool. So I'm reading the comments and listening to everything. And some of the men were like, no, she's a grinder. She's doing what she has to do. And, some people this, and this. I'm reading. I'm saying to myself, okay, if you prostitute, how do you keep your glamity down there for when you find the person that you want? And then how do you get the person that may be your forever person to be able to be with you if they knew that that was your past? So thank God, I learned to live on nothing because that is an opportunity if push come to shove. Trust me, I'll find me a corner and stand on it with a little sign available if push come to shove. But I'm thankful that I haven't gone there yet. But it is definitely something that I know a lot of people are doing, and I kind of feel bad for someone. And I felt bad because yesterday I said I feel sorry, for some of the people that have chosen some of the things because, in honesty, if I had to feed my child, I will never say I would never do it because you don't know what you would do to feed your kid. But these are situations that people are in that they're not having to feed their kid. They're supporting their wig lifestyle, their false nails, their eyelashes. Those are the things. And that's why I'm currently in a position where I'm feeling bad for someone that is definitely suffering, and the person is quite close to me. So emotionally, I'm coming from a point of not looking from the outside. I'm looking from the inside because there are times we have to do what kindness is, and that is allow people to live their lives. But while you allow people to live their lives, you have to respect them when they're suffering their consequences. And sometimes I say to myself, I feel like I'm a bad person. So yesterday when I was driving, home, I was thinking of a friend that keeps calling me. You might have noticed in one of my videos that the person has called me. But I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real and funky with you because this person has been a viewer of my videos, so I know that there's a possibility he may be reading my videos. But he is legit hiding money to keep from being accountable to, do the right thing. So I didn't want to pass judgment, but I did say I just felt a certain type of way, and I looked up to this person. I looked up to this person with the most respect. I don't know what that is. That's the first sound I've heard. I get these little different sounds on my phone, but that one might be like an Amber Alert or something. But now I don't look up to the person anymore. I think my respect for them have dropped down a few notches. I also feel bad for myself because I believe I'm judging them, and I shouldn't judge them because I don't want to be growing closer to God, trying to do what I'm trying to do for myself that makes me feel like a better person and is getting me across some of these hurdles that I've been through. I don't want to judge a friend of mine. I don't want to judge someone that I was with for 7 years and that I actually still love, not in love, but love. I don't want to do that. And I don't really know what judging is. And I'm still going through the process of learning to be someone's friend or confidant and not judge them, but this person is clearly abusing. Uh, and I don't want to be part of that. And the only reason why I say I don't want to be part of it is because knowing the information is making me feel a certain type of way because of my living situation. I need help with food. I need help with my house. I need help with my lights. I'm in a situation where I need, and yesterday, the only time that I almost broke down and cried was when I sat down and thought about how I have struggled to change my life, to get away from some of the things that I'm relying on that I don't want to rely on. So, with that said, I have been avoiding the phone, and avoidance might be the right word, and it might be a bad word because I don't know how to say. Because he asked me, plain and simple, when he saw my face, he was like, "Well, if you could save a certain amount of money, wouldn't you do it too?" Not at the hurdles you're going through to hide it, especially knowing that you don't need to hide it and you earned it. It's on, you got to pay taxes on it and everything, so you have no chance of hiding it. But to know, so I felt a way about that. And then another friend of mine, I actually wanted to come over here to help me move something yesterday. He messaged me, "Are you okay?" And I'm thankful for the care and the concern and all that other stuff. But to know that you chose an alcoholic beverage before food, and then came here to look at me saying, "Well, you got no, I have to hold you accountable for your choices and your options." And I don't want nobody to sit down and say to me, "Oh, well, you chose to buy crafting paper, so if you don't have a hot dog, I'm not going to feed you." But I'm damn sure not buying no beer, knowing that my family has nothing in the freezer. I'm not doing it, and especially if I'm not going to admit that I'm an alcoholic. So. And I don't want any alcoholics around me. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I used to drink. I drank my problems away. I don't want any alcoholics around me. If you choose to do that type of stuff, this place right here is not for you to come. Because I'm bringing your little bottle, sitting in front of my TV, lapping it up and sucking it up and killing time. Nah, sir, you wasting my time. I like my aloneness. I like my bye-byeville, honey. I love to be inside my home, and I don't need any friends around me to make me feel complete. Now, I will tell you, I do need a man to put his hands on this body because I am definitely not giving up that. I need to be touched. I'm a human. I'm still human, but friends and laying around and back and forth in the kitchen and back and forth in the bathroom. If y'all know how often I clean my toilet, y'all would know company would be a bonker thing for me. I had one friend when she was leaving my house, she said, "You can go ahead and clean your bathroom now because I know that's what you're going to do when I leave." And just to make her wrong, I didn't clean my bathroom for that rest of that day. Not even when she left my house. I said, "No, I'm not." And just to make her wrong, I sure as hell didn't, but I have two bathrooms. So I was able to go. And it's not about me scorning anyone, but we have to keep it real. We got to be real about some of these things. And sometimes you may say, "Gosh, she says anything." Well, I do. And so do you. You just may not choose to say what I choose to say, but I'm real. How many times have you actually looked on a toilet and seen a line on the back of the seat and all this other stuff? There's things, and then some people don't feel like they need to bathe in the morning, and that's okay. No one has to bathe if you don't choose to, but something of a communicable usage thing like a toilet, nah, so we got to protect each other. So, my mother cleans the toilet every time she uses the toilet. So, and I taught my daughter from she was young. You make a number two in that toilet, you clean that toilet, especially if it's loose, because you don't know what you have. And I'm so thankful. Thank you. I don't care what nobody says about me. I am so thankful that a West Indian person raised me because my mama taught me. And there are some things that you just have to do. Going back and forth to the bathroom, flip the toilet. I wash the handle of my toilet more than I wash my actual toilet. So there goes the crazy in me. But I'd rather be crazy than anything else because some of the things that I do that someone would say is extreme, just imagine putting your hand on that handle that someone else put on that didn't wash their hands. I wash the handle to my toilet more than I wash my toilet. There goes that. But that was a whole TMI that should not have been a whole TMI. But I am sitting here feeling so freaking so peaceful, so rested, and I'm like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel so bad because I do like, okay, my friend called me last night. She called me last night. What are you doing? And it feels so strange having a local person call me to see. I think she's 70 something. So we've been good now. She used to live in this building, and one day, and we used to live across the hall from each other. One day, I went through a psychotic moment with my bipolar disorder. I didn't know who I was. I did not know I was in the hallway. So she found me in the hallway. She put money in my pocket and she called 911. Ambulance picked me up. They put me in the mental ward. I was in the mental ward about 7 days. Did not know I was in the mental ward. When I left the mental ward, I found money in my pocket. Didn't know where I got the money from. I just knew I didn't have it. When you're living on Brokeville Lane, you already know you don't have no extra $5, $6, $7 in your pocket. So then I came home. And then I'm living my best life. And then one day she happened to see me and she was like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm wondering why she's concerned if I'm okay or not. You haven't seen me in a few days. I barely saw myself because I damn well sure didn't know I was in a hospital. And then she said, I'm so sorry, but I just didn't know what to do. So I had to call the ambulance. So I said, "You called the ambulance for me?" And she said, "Yeah." And I said, "Did you put money in my pocket?" And she said, "Yeah, because I wanted you to be able to come home." And I have loved this woman ever since because she cared about me enough to call 911. Now, there are people that will see you out in that kind of situation and say to themselves, "Well, let me close my door and mind my business because she's this, whatever the case may be." But you can't live like that. Just imagine if that was your loved one out there that didn't know who they were and was disassociated and everything else. How would you feel if somebody just closed their door and mind their business? Sometimes you can't mind your business. So this morning I woke up and there is an item of bigness in this home that someone wants, but I have to take it to them, which means I have to get it out of here, force it in my vehicle, get it in there to the location and bring it upstairs and all of that because this person cannot do it for themselves. So a part of my mind said, F that, I'm not doing that. That's like my feet hurt, my legs hurt, my back hurt. All of the excuses came down. So then I'm sitting there like, then the other side of my head is like, no, because this is not right. If I can do this, let me try. And I'm tired of that fight. I am tired of that fight because I know I could put it down and drag it down and do everything and get it there. And once it's done, it's done. But I'm saying to myself, the fight between my mind telling me this and my mind telling me this, it's a tremendous fight that I get tired of having to go through. But it is something that I already have lived with for so many years. So what I'm going to actually do today is do the best I can to see if I can get it from destination A to destination B, which is by my bedroom, by my front door. But I actually need help lifting it. So there goes me having to call someone. Can you come over here and help me? And that's where I feel bad because I only have $20 to my name. And if I call this person to come and help me, I have to give them my $20. Not because they're going to ask me for the $20. It's because I respect everyone's time. And I know for one, he's not going to make me pick him up. Even if I offer, he's not driving with me. He knows I have a fainting condition. He doesn't want to drive with me. Whatever reason, I have never, ever hurt anyone behind that wheel. I know when not to leave my house. I am well amongst myself to know that. But I feel if he comes over here, helps me get this from A to B, I have to give him my $20. And then it's like the 16th of the month. When can I actually say I'm going to be able to replace the $20? And that's my thing. But I would like to get the item to the person because if it was me, she would do it for me. So it is what it is. I finally got my insurance paperwork, but boys and girls, I don't know what to do because when I registered for this insurance, they said I was covered effective January 1st. So, which means my current insurance was my current insurance. So, my insurance, I looked in my account, I had my $211 that my insurance sent me every month. So, I paid my electricity and I paid my Wi Fi. Then I get a call from my pharmacist saying that my insurance is lapsed and I don't have any insurance for my medicine. So I'm like, oh, yes, I do. And when I checked my account, it said my account was closed effective the 31st of last month. So I'm like, how was it closed the 31st if on the 1st you sent me $211? If you sent me $211, that means my account was active. So now I'm sitting here waiting for my new insurance card that's going to have $575 on it. One time use though. And I'm like, are they going to try to put me in jail for fraud? But you can't put me in jail for fraud because you clearly sent me a letter stating that my account is active January 1st. But the person inside me is worried because I'm like, I did absolutely nothing wrong. But in all actuality, you could say, she did something wrong, but I know the hell I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not. I'm like, I called my mother. I'm like, I don't know what to do because they said my insurance was available on the 1st of January. So now, and definitely effective November 1st. So, and then I looked in my mail because I get informed delivery and I have another envelope coming. Definitely not the card because it's not this envelope, it's this envelope. So definitely not that card, and my arms is getting a little moist. I tell you, living with this, but I can't. I'm hoping and praying that nobody come for me and say, you did this, because with the information that I was given, there was nothing I could have clearly done wrong. Absolutely not. But like I said, I'm going to fight this crap in my head and try to get. But the only reason why I cannot carry said item is because I can't lift it over that wall unit that I got a couple weeks ago, and I put up this month actually, that I put up right there at the entranceway. Not only that, for a couple of years my bedroom was in the living room, and now I want to move my bed from this room to that living room because, for one, this room is extremely hot. So like I said, feel a little bit moist and everything, but when I come in here, knowing that it is a smaller room and I have my bed, have my TV, have my little setup here, got my little table that I got right here, it's cozy. And I took most of the rug off the floor, which I've been dying to do because my feet hurt so bad on the rug. So this room, I got most of the rugs off of the floor. I have a little piece right here by my bed because sometimes I get these cramps and I need cold floor to help me get rid of the cramps. But recently, the cold floor, even my freezing bathroom, and my bathroom is so freezing cold that when you sit on a toilet, you will shiver in cold. That's how freezing that bathroom is. But it's been that cold since I've lived here, maybe about 15, 16 years now. So it's not, I'm never complaining about it because if I have to tell the truth, that cold bathroom, I leave the door open, so it gives me a kind of coolness through the apartment that helps me with the fact that even though my windows are open, yes, it's bleeding outside, but I need the windows open, it gives me a little bit of cross breeze. Now, to help me with that bitter cold that comes in, I had to block off the vent. But the bathroom itself, freezing cold. I can't take a shower in there. There's no way. Not even a person who likes hot water would get in a shower that is freezing cold like that. Now, if my daughter takes a shower in here, that's the shower she used. But I guarantee you, if she closed that door, she won't be taking a shower in there again. Absolutely not. But I thought about something. I wanted to call my dentist and make an appointment for my dentist so I can get my partials done over. That I'm able to do now that I have my new insurance. Now, the reason why I'm happy about that is because they fixed my partial for my bottoms, but they didn't do it right to where I couldn't wear them. So, I said maybe today is the day that I make my appointment to get my stuff taken care of. Mm-mm. And you don't want to sit down. Well, I'm going to speak for myself. I lost 10 teeth on Seroquel bipolar medicine. 10 teeth on Seroquel bipolar medicine. And I don't know how to say it without putting myself in a problem that can later on affect me down the line in some kind of way. But this medication that they have mental health patients on, some of that medication is making us worse than what we are without taking that medicine. I kid you not. My anxiety was horrible on my bipolar medicine. My my voices, all of those things, those triggers were worse on my depression medicine. When I chat GBT'd my symptoms and what I was going through, and I found out that each of my medicines, those were the side effects from my medicine, I was horrified because I need something to stabilize me, but I don't need to be on a medicine that's going to give me anxiety. And then this and this combined both have a hot flash side effect where they regulate your body to make your body temperature hotter. I'm already in menopause, so now you got this one giving me hot flashes, this one giving me hot flashes, and then I'm already in menopause. So one day I woke up just recently, and I realized a few things that are less. Let's say that. So I went to ChatGPT and I said, I noticed that this, and this is, I don't deal with this anymore. And it basically said that removing this took away this because this gave you this. So now I'm in a position where I love my doctor, but I went to my doctor last month and I talked to my doctor. Now, my doctor know I have been very active in my health because I care about my body. I have narcolepsy, I have neuropathy, I have osteoarthritis, I have gout, I have fibromyalgia, and I'm damn near blind. These are reading glasses. These are not needing glasses. But I drink tea to help me with my vision, which makes me able to see my cell phone. Let me see if I can read my Bible this morning. Absolutely. Ooh, absolutely. I have to drink tea to help me read with my glasses. Oh, wow. Oh, I'm going to be reading today. I opened up Matthew's a couple days ago and I was reading. I still can't understand. I can promise you. I cannot understand. I haven't done any of my classes. I can't do it. I can't understand. But there's no way I'm going to stop trying. Absolutely no way. But I can definitely read. So what I'm drinking right now is moringa tea, which helps with your vision. So let me get some more. And guess what? I don't know where I bought that tea. And I went to 3 places and can't find any more. So I only have about 4 more tea bags. I don't have no more moringa, but it is what it is. So anyway, I noticed that one of the things that I had to do, like I mentioned already, and I'm going to mention again, I had to change and I had to fight with some of the ways that I was thinking, some of the things, because the excuses that I was telling myself, oh, I don't feel like making up my bed today, so I'm just going to lay in my bed. I made up my bed today. And I have my cover that I'm going to put over me when I lay down and watch this blasted TV that I'm starting to love, these romance movies. But that freaking medicine doesn't do anything but help me stay on excuses that's going to keep me from living somewhat of a normal life. And I don't like it. I don't like it. So I'm in a group. I'm in like two bipolar groups, and I went to the groups looking for support for what I was going through. But then I'm noticing that because my mind is telling me not to take a shower, then I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna walk around smelling the back of my ass and everything else because I'm depressed. No, I'm not doing that. I'm not gonna do that. I have to fight to get past some of this stuff. I can't just sit down and say, okay, well, I'm not gonna take a shower. Then I want somebody else around me smelling my pass by air. Are you serious? Are you? No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. So even if I have to get in the shower and have to cry or whatever the case may be, now when I first started fighting these demons and I first started fighting the excuses, I literally sat in a tub and cried. But then I had to make a few changes to be able to get me in there, to make me feel like I can make it. And the first thing I had to do, I had to make it a routine. And I've always loved water, but fighting with demons in your head. So for a while, I couldn't take a shower. I had to literally run the tub. I would run a tub, but a person, I don't know, last time I had a cup of coffee, I haven't made coffee in weeks. I started making tea, but I would take my tea in the tub with me, put my tea on the edge of the tub, and I would sit in the tub, and I would say, this is not going to be a 10-minute bathtub. This is going to be 40 minutes. 40 minutes because first of all, I needed the water as hot as the water was going to give me. Then I would get in the tub and I'm in there burning. I'm like, because the water's burning. But the time that it takes that water to get cold, I'm already sipping my glass. I'm already taking my baking soda, washing my body. I'm already taking my soap, washing my body. Then I got to change the flavor of the body wash and the scent of the body wash and do another wash. And I'm loving the water on my head. So I had to turn a dread into a love. So now this morning, I wanted to get into the tub, but I said no. I think I took a shower yesterday and the day before, and I didn't clean out the tub. Now, guess what? My tub is not filthy, but I have a thing in my head that I'm not going to be able to fight regardless. So I said, no, I'm going to take a shower today, and then I'm going to get in this bathroom on my blasted knees and, just give my tub a little wash over. It's just my mind. There are things that I'm never going to be able to get away from, and that's just that. So as I did that, and I got it out of the tub. Now, this is where the weirdo in me comes in. See, I don't have a problem telling y'all I'm a weirdo. Call me a weirdo in the comments, and that's telling me that you love me because you're accepting me for who I am. And that's the only viewers I want, those that accept me for who I am. When I was coming out of the shower, I noticed in the corner of my sink where I had shaved my head, I had some hair down there. So I said, I need my mop. Now, I got out of the shower and it's brisk cold in here. So I took the towel off me, hung up the towel and everything. And when I was hanging up the towel, I said, I don't know why I'm hanging up this towel because it's definitely going in that washing machine. But for my mind's sake, I hung up the towel. But I'm not going to be able to leave the towel there. The towel is definitely going into my washing machine. But what I did do was come back here to this bathroom and I got my mop. And then I used my spray that I'm loving from the Dollar Tree because I love the scent. I forgot what it's called, but one of these days, I think I showed y'all more than once anyway. So I mopped the bathroom floor all around the toilet and everything else. And then my rooms and everything, I just started mopping the floor. So I actually got something done and I actually feel productive. But if I didn't force myself in the tub, then I wouldn't have been able to mop the floor. The only thing I didn't do today was vacuum. No one has been in here maybe in 2 to 3 days. My daughter and her friend came over a few days before that, but I had to do another thing that I wasn't too comfortable with, but I had to do it because I have to stand up for myself. I told my daughter, when you come back to my house, you come alone. And she was like, but I'm not taking a bus all the way down there. The bus is 45 minutes. I'm not asking you to take the bus. What I'm asking you to do is leave your visitor downstairs. I say, you don't come here and find company in here. You don't see me with all this running around in here. You don't. This is not the household for that. So stop bringing people here. And the reason why I feel that way is because when the person came in, this is not his first time coming here, but you can tell he doesn't want to take off his shoes. You're not coming in here if you don't take off your shoes. And if I have to ask you a second time to take off your shoes, you don't have to come back here anymore. You can take your narrow ass somewhere else and keep your shoes on your feet. I don't care what anyone says to me. You are guaranteed one thing when you're walking out there, and that is shit on the bottom of your shoe, whether it's in a pile, whether it's smooth, whether it's dry, and all that saliva that you see on the sidewalk. I don't care what you say. You take off your shoes when you're coming in. If I have to ask you a second time to take off your shoes, you don't have to worry about coming in anymore. But I didn't mention the shoes to my daughter. I just said, don't bring your friend to my house anymore. And that's it. So, but I'm not coming. I didn't ask you to take the bus. And I'm not fighting with you in your mentality of understanding. Don't bring your company to my house. That's it. My daughter, I cannot tell you the last time my daughter has walked up in here and found me in here with company. And it has been well over a few years. You already see who I am. From you were young, you had your friends in the house. And that was because I wanted to be the parent that knew where my kid was, so I would let her have company. I was every now and then needing a break and all that stuff, but I said no, I don't actually need a break. You know why? Because if I needed a break, I wouldn't have had my kid. So I was the house where the kids would come over and play. I wasn't the house where it would let mine go sleep over so I can go to the club on Friday night. No, that wasn't me. I would never have had my daughter if I felt like I needed to be that person. We all need a break, and I do need a break. When I took my break, she would go to school. Sometime I would go to the library. Sometime, you know what I just do in the library? Go to sleep. People, places, and things. It was just that I needed a break from maybe the house, whatever the case may be. But I think I hurt my daughter, when I said that. So I don't even care at this point. It is how it is. I do have company. I have a special person that comes in and he has a key, so I don't call or you come in and when that door open, bye. You live out there. Take your time and do what you gotta do. Just don't put no restrictions on me, because if I don't feel like being in that living room and you in that living room, you're gonna be in the living room by your damn self. I'm being here watching, because don't let me be in here watching somebody's YouTube channel and I'm supporting their channel by watching. I want to literally watch the channel. Now I kid you not, I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's a person that does a video occasionally on a subject that I have no understanding about. So I will put the video on and go cook my food and turn the volume down. Just make sure they get the hit from the beginning of the video to the end, because I do know that the metrics need to be from the beginning of the video to the end. So it is what it is. But I'm thankful. I'm sitting here looking at my life and I'm like, okay, I need to earn. And I'm angry. A part of me gets really angry that I've tried, but I can't get angry. The world has turned into a big roller coaster of down there. But I'm gonna tell y'all something. There are stores closing down, and I'm talking supermarkets. So all of this buy nothing and consumerism, we need to put this in categories that it needs to be in, and we need to start with the freaking hair supply stores. Those are the places where you need to hit first before you start hitting supermarkets where people have to eat. There are literally places where stores are closing, where people have to get on buses and trains to get their groceries and bringing back milk and, potatoes and things like that. Is horrible. That is horrible. But I'm not going to say too much on that. I'm going to do the best I can to leave that stuff alone. But I kid you not, I'm going to be in Aldi. I'm going to be in Aldi getting my daggone food. But I don't know what is going on with my body, because when I open up a can, sometimes I can't eat it. It feels as if there's something in the can that I'm tasting that is not sitting right with me. So I have an abundance of this or an abundance of this, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to eat it. Maybe if times really get bad to where the lights are out and there's no, but then you watching videos, there's people breaking into people's houses, looking for this, looking for that. When things get that bad as a community, we have to really look at ourselves, because if you are busting down someone else's door for their hard on acquired goods, you have to ask yourself, what point, what place on this planet do you serve yourself a good purpose? But anybody come up in here, you better have a gun. You better shoot me dead, cause boys and girls, when I put my brass knuckles in my hand, I'm going for under your chin, and that's it. I'm bringing you to your knees. Don't come up in here trying to take nothing that you didn't put up in here. Nothing. Now, let me tell you something else. I am a giver. So I don't mind helping. Kindness is free, but don't come try to take anything from me that I'm not willing to give you, because then you're going to cross a line that you're going to ask me to come out of my shell, and I am not trying to wear bracelets that I have no control over. So if I have to come, I'm coming, and you best believe I'm not leaving here in a bag unless you got something to knock me out, because you're going to have to knock me out. I am not playing. That's another reason why I want to move my bed back into my living room, because I'm too far away from that front door. Too far away from that front door. And what people are doing now, I saw someone in the garage. She said, I didn't even know you still live here. I never see you. I said, because I stay in my house and I mind my business. That's what I do. And then she started talking to me about this, and this. You know what I did? I said, well, I'm not going to stand in this garage with this open air and have that kind of conversation. I said, well, you have a nice day. That's right. Nope. But I tell you, I have seen some disasters going around the world, and I kid you not, there's a lot of control that people have that they think they don't have in control. And it's hard to say, coming from a place where I live. If you live in the United States and you can afford to scramble up your nothingness, and I mean enough to put a bag on your shoulder and all your legal documents in your purse, you need to be leaving the state that you live in that's in that despair, going somewhere else. Of course, you're going to have to struggle before you can make it, but you will 9 times out of 10 meet somebody that will help you along the way. But living somewhere where you don't have any neighbors, I don't care where you live. If you can live somewhere where you don't have any neighbors, you are the type of person that scares me. You scare me, because just imagine a tragedy. Just imagine being a woman and she's living in a house and it's only her husband or her kids, and this man is beating her, but she has nobody to run to. Nobody. When she go to the supermarket, that's her only little bit of freedom, and then she goes in the house and this is the person she has to live with. I don't care if I had to chew myself through the gardens. When that man leaves the house, I am taking everything I can on my back, and I don't mean in 2 bags, I mean in one. Birth certificate, social security card. If I dared to have a passport, which I will never in my life have, because I can't go nowhere. Nowhere. Now, I may get a passport just to go to back and forth to my family's locations and stuff, but I also feel that I'm leaving the United States, because I don't think I can die in the United States. So I may end up with, but to passport, to travel back, it wouldn't be nothing like that. It would be me going and me staying. But it's time to pack up in certain situations and leave. Go to caseworkers, counselors, shelters, anything to get away from some of the stuff that people are dealing with, because we are all living with something. But there are situations where I can't. It's just a flat out, you just don't want to. And I'm not specifically saying in domestic violence because I have been in domestic violence, but I did put that. I did. So it's a different story. I'm not being proud of domestic violence because I tell you, my jaw was broken and everything, but I buckled up these fists and did what I had to do to defend myself. But we have to work to get away from these stores closing down. And another thing that I noticed, and I'm glad I'm not the only person who notices it. We're supposed to be in some type of recession, but Dollar General is not in a recession. What we are seeing people go into Dollar General and pull out on the strength of couponing. And yesterday someone asked what to do with, and it was a massive amount of just straight up. See, I love my phone. See that? Now I get to screen the call, and then the screener tells the person that this person is screening your call, and then they hang up. If it's not a spammer, then they will tell you who they are. And see? Now, there go the spammer's report, the spammer's voice on the phone. That's why sometimes. But you know what I did? I searched car insurance, and that's why I'm getting these spammers. So that noise that I heard, and I said, I don't know what that noise is, that must be the new spammers. But this right here saves me. And he's still going, not knowing that that is a recording that picked up my phone. I love that phone. But boys and girls, I'm going to decide if I'm going to pay this guy my last $20 to help me get this out of his house to this person. But I actually don't want to because I'm driving a vehicle, and anyone who drives a vehicle should always have a reserve of something to put gas in the car. So I already know, but I'm going to say, please shop. If you can buy an extra can. You know what my sister said to me a couple of days ago? She said, you put food in the hallway? Yeah, I sure do. I had to put some apples out there a couple of days ago. I sure do. I put cans out there. But I just realized that, and she said, but I wouldn't have anywhere to put it. I would have to put it on the floor. No, you wouldn't have to put it on the floor. Yeah, you would, but you just put it by your mailbox. Just put a little mat down there, put you some extra cans, and you just put it there and let people take it. So I'm going to say, if you have an extra can or whatever, put it somewhere so someone can take it. But that is just only if you feel like the type of person like I am. I did make one mistake, and I felt so bad about it when I saw this guy come to my car and say he needed something to eat, and I told him, ring my bell. And yesterday when I was coming home, I ended up being in a blockage right here because someone's car was double parked and we couldn't get through. So the person actually did come to my building, and he was going up the block, but he did spot me right there, listening to my music as I was praising. And he looked at the car and he went, just kept going. But I'm so thankful because I realized, and I was talking to my friend last night, and I said to her, and I started crying when I said it because I really, really mean what I mean. I felt bad telling him that I would give him something to eat, knowing that I was going to give him something to eat. But I also felt bad because I didn't want him at my door. You give him something to eat, and he come back, and next he become someone that was here before. And then I go through hell and high water. I had somebody banging my door down to where, I had bleach in my hand one day, and his eyes was bloodshot. His eyelashes was white, and then police is at my door, talking about how did he get bleach in his eye, and I'm sitting there like, I had to defend myself. I had to defend myself, but thank God I had the YouTube video running. So I'm like, officer, and I was shaking everything. My friend! Stop ringing my bell! It's too early. Goodbye. Somebody ring my bell. So I'm not going to answer either. I don't feel like me. Bam! That's obviously somebody who knows me. Boys and girls, let me tell you. First of all, I can't go outside on Wednesday. That's what that message was for. But when I opened the door, the man is talking to me, telling me that they're gonna fix the garage door. So if I leave on Wednesday, I gotta stay out the garage. But the whole entire time, he wasn't looking at my face. He was looking at my damn thighs because I'm wearing a short dress. And I'm looking, but I guess he must say to himself, is this how she dresses inside her house? Of course, this is how I dress inside of my house. But anyway, oh, I'm so thankful that the garage door is going to be fixed because I want to wash my car. Now, the garage is freezing right now because the door is broke. But when they fix the door, it will be a little cold in the garage, but not enough to where I can't wash my freaking car. I want to bring my bucket down there and clean my car because I was going to take it over to one of them big places and pay like $35, $40. Susie's going to get mama's hands on that car. And then I could actually bring a broom or something downstairs and, vacuum and shampoo out, sweep out and all the other stuff. But anyway, like I was saying, I felt kind of bad inviting someone to my house to get something to eat because I was going to feed them. But I realized this is a disaster. But anyway, when that person had came to my door, I was running my YouTube channel. So everything that transpired was on my YouTube. So when the police officer came and was like, how come he has bleach in his eyes? And I'm sitting there and I'm shaking because I'm like, oh my God, I'm getting arrested. I'm getting arrested. So I said, officer, can you come inside? So he came inside. I said, and I took him right to my TV, put the video on it. And I said, here you go. And I think I took him to the camera because that video wasn't posted on YouTube at the time, but I had to post it to protect myself. So I said, let him. He was like, I completely understand. And then he said, how did this hammer? He said, how did this hammer? And I said, I don't know. He must have came here with it. And he just left. And I think after that, my nightmare went bye-bye. But I'm going to hang. Oh, God. A child was killed and 5 people shot. I tell you, sometimes these walls, that's another reason why I want to go in that living room. I live on the 12th floor, and the only way somebody can shoot me just by accident is through this wall right here, because you couldn't shoot me through the living room. But do you know, a couple years ago, someone in Yonkers, a young girl was sitting on her bed, and a bullet came from the wall next door and shot the girl in her head, and she died. Another time, in the same town, a woman was in her room, and a bullet came, if I'm not mistaken, through the ceiling. But see, my floors are done with concrete, so there's nothing coming through the ceiling. But I'm not sure. But I think something can come through that door. Through that wall. But we got to be careful, boys and girls. But you have a wonderful day, and thank you for chiming into this video with this big mouth girl with these space cadet glasses. Yes, I said it.